Hey y'all, my name is Ashley and today I am doing a favorites video. So in this video, I'm gonna go through 10 different eyeshadow palettes that I love for fall that you can still purchase. So they're not new necessarily. And then at the end, I will go ahead and share 3 that I absolutely love for the fall season that unfortunately you cannot get anymore. So if that sounds interesting to you, then keep on watching. Okay, so before I dive into this video, no, I did not get like lip filler. I'm actually currently, so I haven't been uploading because I haven't been able to film. And that is because I'm going through a lot of stress right now in my life. And I have been getting cold sore outbreaks over and over again. And today I'm just saying F it. So I'm actually like wearing a Mederma patch. So my top lip looks a little bit different. So I'm hoping it doesn't come off funky on camera. But I did not get lip filler. It's a cold sore, which I guess is kind of like nature's lip filler that I didn't ask for. So let's get into the palettes. So on my list, I have 10 eyeshadow palettes that you can still purchase that are perfect for the season of fall. And as I go through these 10, these are not in a particular order because I thought about ranking them, but I suck at like just picking a favorite item. So I did 10 favorites that I love equally. So I want to start off with one that you probably hear me talk about a lot. I actually did a first impressions at the beginning of the year with this palette. It is the Melt Cosmetics and Bailey Sarian collab, Fatally Yours. So this is actually like an all matte palette, but it has like those perfect grungy tones for fall. And you get like the kind of pumpkin-y orange right here. Then you got like these really nice grungy greens. I love this palette, and this palette works well with so many other palettes that I own that this is always on my vanity, but in the last month, like in September, I have been using this very often. But this palette was originally $58, and I think it's about to be discontinued because currently on Melt's website, this is on sale for $29. So if you ever wanted this, not saying you need to go get it, but it is currently on sale. So that was a collaboration palette. This next palette is also a collaboration palette. And this one is Ofra with Ali Dawson. And this is the Falling in Love signature palette. I mean, I don't think I need to explain this, but you get your perfect matte falls in this palette and a beautiful shimmer that has like a white gold reflect in it. I love to use this on the inner corner of my eye looks constantly. And I mean, I don't think I have to explain this, but this palette is available on Ofra's website for $32. And I'm sure Ali Dawson has a code for Ofra. Now this palette is, I don't think it came out last year. I think it came out the year before, but this one is from Nomad Cosmetics, and this is the Royal Europe palette. Now, this is one of the pricier palettes when it comes to Nomad Cosmetics, but that is because you get an entire row right here of duochromes, multichromes, shifty shades, whatever you prefer to call them. And then you get these 2 rows of beautiful jewel toned mattes. And I love jewel tones for the fall. So whether I'm doing something that's kind of witchy, something that's fall, or something that's kind of pumpkin-y, this palette kind of has it all. And if you like grungy makeup like I do, this palette's great for that as well. So this is a $57 eyeshadow palette, and it is still available on Nomad Cosmetics website. Also, if you do like certain shades from this palette and you don't want them all, I believe all the shifty shades, like the duochromes at the bottom, are all available to purchase individually. I also, when I was making my list, like I have it all right here on a little notepad, and I made sure that I was picking palettes from brands. Like each of these are going to be different brands. I didn't want to keep picking the same brand over and over again because I could have. Trust me, I could have. So each one of these in this 10, each brand is different, I think. Hopefully, we'll see. So this one is from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and this is their Fall Romance palette. I always get this one confused with Ali Dawson's palette. So it's Falling in Love, and this one's Fall Romance. I mean, I love this palette. So, I mean, that's honest. I'm going to say I love this palette with every single one of these, but this one just has like those, like a nice little berry shade and some greens in here that are kind of perfect for fall. Honestly, I really like this palette for November, like getting into from the Halloween to Christmas, like that in between time. And this one is $55, but these newer Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes. So like the newer packaging with the bigger pans. I think you got Cosmos as well. And then there's like a Metal Roses one. I think that's what it's called. I can't remember. But the formula in these are so much nicer than the formula in Modern Renaissance and all of those palettes that were pretty popular in like 2016. These are far superior. Now this one's kind of like, you know, you still got some rosy tones in it, but this one is from Huda Beauty. And this is the Naughty palette. I believe this was a holiday launch a couple years ago, but I like these like kind of rosy tones for fall looks. And this is just a palette that I reach for when I go for a neutral look for fall. Like honestly, if I'm going to do something with my kids that involve other parents there, like I have to go to the school or something, this is the type of palette I reach for. I don't do something as bold as what I'm wearing on my eyes because I just don't want to look like that crazy lady. But this is $69. So I lied, there is 2 palettes from the same brand on here, but this one's like, this is a little bit different. So this is a quad. So I always like to have some type of palette with duochromes or multi-chromes on hand. And even though I did talk about Royal Europe, this is a nice little just simple duochrome, multi-chrome, 50 shade palette. And this is the Blend Bunny Cosmetics Trove Multi-Chrome palette. Now this was originally $68, and as of filming this is currently on sale for $40. So you do get 4 very shifty shades in this palette. I don't know if the camera's gonna pick it up. I am trying so hard, y'all. But the formula when it comes to Blend Bunny Cosmetics, whether it's their mattes, their multi-chrome shifty shades, or their shimmers, it is like a silky smooth formula that I have never had the experience of where it's patchy. Now this is where I said I kind of lied because I did have another Blend Bunny Cosmetics palette in here, but this one is the Dollhouse. So this is like a larger palette. To me, Trove is like a side palette, like, you know, I almost said side piece, but it's almost like a palette that you use to complement other palettes. You really wouldn't use this on your own, like for everyday makeup. So I find that in a different category, but this is the Dollhouse palette. And this one has a beautiful mixture of like neutral tones, but then you get some of those like fall, to me, these are very fall shades. So you got those muted tones, but they're kind of grungy at the same time. And this palette has like a mixture of shimmers and mattes. In fact, this is one of the palettes that I have on my eyes today. I forgot to mention the other ones, but at the end of this video, I'll share what I have on my eyes. But this is $45, and you know, yeah, $45 is a lot for a palette, but you get so much for $45 when you're shopping Blend Bunny Cosmetics. Okay, so now these palettes are getting bougie. Okay, so the last 3 in this 10, they're a little bougier than the earlier ones. So this one is the Patrick Ta Major Dimensions Volume 2 Rose. And like I said earlier, I like the rose shades for neutral looks for fall. And I really enjoy all 3 of my Patrick Ta eyeshadow palettes. So you get those 2 cream shades here, which work really great as like a base. And then you also get a row of shimmers here and then a row of mattes. So even though this is a pricey palette at $70, if this is in your collection, this is the perfect time of year to go ahead and pull it out. Now I wasn't lying, it's getting bougie because this one is a Pat McGrath palette. So this is Mothership 3, the Subversive palette. So this is like an older palette from Pat McGrath. But this is $128. It isn't cheap. But luckily with Pat McGrath Labs, you can usually get some of the older palettes on sale. They go on sale, not like frequently, but the holidays are coming up. You'll start to see sales from different brands. I wouldn't be surprised if you can catch this at a lower price. But this palette has like some moody tones in it. So you got like, you know, you got a black, obviously. But it's got mattes and shimmers. You got a nice shimmery purple here. You've got this moody shade up here and like this moody gold down here. And to me, it's just kind of perfect to have for the fall. And finally, this is actually my favorite palette from this brand. And this is the Natasha Denona My Dream Eyeshadow Palette. And like I have to repeat myself, but look, you got those rosy tones in here. But this burgundy right here is my favorite burgundy to use, along with like this shifty pink to gold shade up here. But you get a mixture of mattes and you get a mixture of shimmers in here. And it's just a really nice palette. Now, these 3 are some of my absolute favorite palettes. But unfortunately, you can't buy them from the retailers anymore. So you can't get them at Sephora. You can't get them on the brand's website. If you do want these palettes, this is where you'd have to go to like Macari or Poshmark or something like that. But I still wanted to share 3 palettes that I really love. And I think these are all, no, these aren't all indie. Okay. So this one is from Nomad Cosmetics. This is the Hudson Valley Intense Color Palette. I really, really, really love this palette. And I don't think I need to explain the color story because I think we can all see why it is a perfect fall palette. But the formula in here is really nice as well. When I want to do a fall look that reminds me of leaves, and even though I don't get that here in Houston, our leaves don't turn orange, they turn brown in February. But if I want a leaf inspired look, this is the palette I always reach for. And this is kind of similar, and I mentioned this a lot last year, and I think I've mentioned it already quite a few times this year, but this one is from Melt Cosmetics, and this is the Bad Side Zodiac Fire palette. Nobody ever talked about these. A lot of people, I guess, I really enjoy Melt Cosmetics. I never realized how much I love Melt Cosmetics until I opened my drawer and realized all the products that I've purchased from Melt Cosmetics throughout the years. But this is one of the palettes that I reach for all the time. I have it on my eyes today. I love this, okay? It's fall. And finally, this one is from Blend Bunny Cosmetics, and this is Surge. So actually recently, I wouldn't say recently, I would say within the last 30 days, I saw on Instagram that Blend Bunny was considering bringing this palette back, which I hope they do because this is a beautiful palette. So it's kind of perfect for fall and Halloween. So you got some really pretty tones here. These are all mattes. These are shimmers up here, but then you've got these neons, which are great for Halloween, that are UV reactive. Now, I did see on that Instagram story that if this palette does come back, those neons wouldn't be UV reactive anymore. But even if they weren't, they are beautiful neons. So before I share what palettes I used on my eyes, and even though I gave 2 hints, I have 4 different eyeshadow palettes on my eyes that I mentioned today. If you want to guess, go ahead and guess in the comment section below. But I'm gonna share that I went ahead and put the Dollhouse on my eyes, and this is where I have the purples. So where you see that deep, vibrant purple, it is the shade Cinched right here. And then for the matte orange and yellow on my eyes, I use the shade Drama Queen and Too Much from Melt Cosmetics. So this yellow's in my inner corner, and then kind of blending into the Too Much shade right here, which is this pumpkin orange. And this is also, and that yellow is also underneath my lashes. Now for the duochromes and shimmery shades on my lids, I went ahead and used this really beautiful gold from Royal Europe in the Nomad Cosmetics palette. And then to get that purple blue shifty shade on my lids, I blended that gold with the shade Mermaid Tears from the Trove. So right now on camera, it's coming off as blue. In person, it's a little bit more purple, but it does shift between that blue and purple. All right, so that is my fall faves when it comes to eyeshadow palettes. So if you want to tell me your fall favorite palettes in the comments below, please let me know. I would love to hear them. And thank you so much for watching this. And until next time, bye y'all.